guys, welcome to Wedges and Weights. Today's Q&A video is all about my prep for my photo shoot. About a week or two ago when this goes out, I did a very exciting photo shoot for a new project, a new Wedges and Weights one that I haven't told you about yet, which all will be revealed. And I was in the gym in the morning and then in a kitchen in the afternoon. Now naturally I was about to stand in a crop top, shorts, in the middle of a gym, and I wanted to feel strong, I wanted to feel good, so I got myself a coach. I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, you're a PT yourself, you're a coach, so why do you need one yourself? Well, if I designed my own program, I'll probably put everything in that I like, and it's also when you're prepping for something, it's good to have somebody to be accountable to. So I got myself a coach. We'll go into how I got it in your questions. I popped a little post on Instagram asking you guys what you wanted to know about my training, my nutrition, how I didn't eat my own arm, how I stayed motivated, anything like that. So you guys have been asking me questions on Instagram and I'm going to go through them now, so let's get cracking. So this question's from Healthy Nadia Isabel with a few underscores in there, and she asked, how long did it take you to achieve this? It took me 16 weeks. We set out with a goal of 12 weeks, but due to like different things and dates of the photo shoot, we ended up doing it for 16 weeks. And she says, did you have any cheat meals? What advice would you give to someone who wants to achieve a lower body fat? Cheat meals I did have because I wasn't prepared to give them up. I wasn't stepping on stage to do any bikini like competition, so I did have a cheat meal. My cheat meals do tend to be quite clean ingredient wise still. I don't really tend to go for like mega processed foods, but it'll tend to be a lot higher carb. What advice would I give to someone who wants to achieve a lower body fat percentage? Work your ass off, get yourself a coach, and don't give in. So the next question's from Becky Garves, and she said, did you track everything you ate and drank on MyFitnessPal? I didn't use MyFitnessPal because I had a very set meal plan which was already tailored for me from my coach, so I literally just followed that. The next question is from Floor and R. And she says, how many times a week did you train and for how long each session? Well, it tended to change a little because we started with doing 4 days on, 1 day off. On the off day or the rest day, we'd do intervals, and all the others we'd just rotate the workout. So say I was doing a push, then a pull, then a leg day, we'd do like push, pull, legs, push, rest, and that would be like the interval day. But then we upped it to 5 days and 1 rest, and then eventually we upped it to 6, which was rather intense. Session wise, they've tended to last an hour for the actual weights, resistance work, and then I'd usually do like up to a 15-minute finisher with some core work and some hip work at the end as well. Okay, so Laura Laws 1981 asks, can you have a cheat day including wine, or do you have a cheat meal once a week? Well, we kind of got to that before. I did have a treat meal once a week, cheat, treat, whatever you want to call it. I didn't drink at all during that period. I'm not really a big drinker anyway, unless it's a special occasion, but no, I didn't have any wine. Next question is from Rachel Telfer7. How much different from your normal lifestyle was your prep diet and training? Normal lifestyle, well, it was normal in the fact that it was all clean foods because I tend to eat like that anyway. But the fact that I weighed things was very different for me. I did find that a bit strange to begin with. But I suppose once you've weighed it a few times, like Josh said, like you get familiar with the size of it. So yeah, I would say it was just more so the portion size, like the weigh and stuff. Training side, it was intense, like rotating, but I love the training side anyway, so that's never an effort as such. Jess Wilkins Photography, how did you push yourself on a day you really didn't feel like working out? What tips do you have to keep motivated? Now, like I said, the training side of things I do find a lot easier because I love it. I get the kick in there, But as we got later down the line, we did add in like steady state cardio. Now, I'm not a steady state cardio girl because quite frankly I find it boring. So initially I did do like a lot of walks outside because at least I wasn't like in one spot walking on a treadmill or whatever. And then in the last week I upped it to going on the Stairmaster, which I probably should have done beforehand, but I was only willing to do that for the last week. And those times when I had to go back to the gym for a second time in a day, I didn't really want to do that, but I had that goal that I was working towards, so that drove me, spurred me on, and kept me motivated. I've said this wrong. Shez Shanae. What was your prep for and how long was it? So we've done that. It was for the photo shoot and it was 16 weeks. Did you just ask a personal trainer to design a nutrition plan and stuff? I didn't just ask anyone. I think if you're prepping for something like this and you're going to be doing calorie deficit work and really get into kind of extreme body fat percentage in a way, you do need to make sure you work with someone who is experienced in it. Just because so you don't do any damage and metabolic damage as well on the way out. So no, I didn't just pick anyone. I think there's another question on here from Emma about how I picked it later on, Fit Food Emma. So we'll do that now. How did I pick my coach? So I was quite lucky that my other half works for a fabulous company called Profit, and one of the guys on his team, Josh, I'll put a links below to his Instagram and things like that. He works with a lot of bikini prep girls and he is used to prepping people. He's had experience doing it and I've seen his results. So I worked with Josh. Now I did it online to a certain degree because I never had a training session with him because I don't really find motivating myself hard when I'm in the gym. But it was really, really good to have someone to be accountable to give me a training plan, to give me my nutrition, tell me exactly what to do. And I'd meet up with him every other week just for a body fat check. And I'd send him my pictures every week as well. So that's how I found him and picked him. Okay, so next question is from CG Fitness 88. How do you plan to get back to normal? E.g., are you still going to track your macros or eat intuitively? It's been just over a week now since the shoot. On the night of the shoot I had whatever I wanted, and then from then on we have been reverse dieting. I know that Fit Food Emma's asked this as well. Yes, we are reverse dieting out of it because I was on a calorie deficit. I still am on a calorie deficit as we reverse out, and at the moment I'm in France, so I have had a little bit more slightly off track here and there. But yeah, I have actually enjoyed, it's been a learning experience doing the macros. For those of you that have followed me for a while, you'll know that I'm more of a eat healthy, eat when you want type of girl rather than weighing things, because I do find that's quite restrictive for me personally. I think it's a bit controlling. But as we reverse diet, I will be doing that, yeah, because it's important too. Fit Food Emma, did you feel healthy during your prep? She's got quite a few here. Hair, skin, hunger, calorie level, mood, sleep, female health. Hope this isn't too personal, she says. Nothing's too personal. Did you feel healthy? Yes, I did. Hair and skin, fine, absolutely. Calorie level and mood, sleep, fine. Female health, still had my periods the whole time. I was a little bit worried about that. I did think as we dropped body fat percentage that they may go, but they didn't. I retained them the whole time, even when getting down to a low body fat percentage. So that was really good. More questions from Fit Food Emma. How did you choose your coach? I've gone through that one. Did it impact your social life and friendships? I'd say that it did, yeah. I mean, I think it's hard, I think it's silly to say that it didn't. I wouldn't say it affected them as in like I lost friends. The person it affected the most was my other half, because like say we had like a wedding in that period of time to go to, and there was a few little things like that came up. It was his birthday during the prep, so I did make a cake and tried not to eat any. That was an issue. But yeah, I'd say it did affect your social life. I think when you're prepping, it's not a social experience, and yeah, definitely. Another one from Fit Food Emma: would you advise doing a plan like this to lose weight, get fit generally, or only for very specific goals for a limited period of time? I'd say a plan like this is specific for prep. When you're doing, like, you see the girls stepping on stage or doing a photo shoot, it's something that is done in a short period. It's not a lifestyle. She also asks, do you think it is easy to get stuck addicted to very strict prep rules? How did you keep a healthy mindset? I'd say probably that some people do get stuck and addicted to them. It's hard for it not to become quite obsessive, because you're weighing things and like you're measuring your body fat and things like that. And I would say it was quite, it does have an obsessive nature to it. How did I keep a healthy mindset? Having an other half who is super strong and grounded me, and also reminding me that like this is only for this one day. It's not something I'm going to do in the long run. And for myself, staying healthy and inspiring you guys, because I didn't really want to be like this crazy bikini prep person on Instagram all of a sudden, because it's just not me. So I'd say how did I keep a healthy mindset? Keeping my feet on the ground. Question here now from MZ_MZ. Hi Hannah, just curious to know how was food structured around prep, particularly breakfast? Was it always fats and protein? Yes, I always tended to have protein and fats in the morning. That is something that I did before my prep, and I always do. So if I was training super early, like at 6, then I'd tend to have like a whey shake and some almond nuts. Or if I was training a little bit later or I'd got up earlier, then I'd make myself a 3-egg omelette with spinach and pepper, a little bit of coconut oil. So I would have healthy fats or protein for breakfast, yes. Next question from Joanna Reed. Were you hungry? If so, how did you deal with it? There were times when I was quite hungry, yes. I'm not very good at being hungry, and I admitted to Josh several times that I'd had an extra spoonful out of the almond butter jar or even the jam jar. This tended to be at like 9 or 10 before I went to sleep, which is the most common time for us to want something sweet, I suppose. How did I deal with it? He told me to get sugar-free jelly, so I always had it in the fridge, and I tried where possible to always go for that. There were times when I did cave. I'm not an angel, and again, I wasn't stepping on stage, so I suppose I had a bit of a reality, and I was a bit like, meh. Ox-Free Falling asks, how long did it take to lose the last bit of belly fat, and what was the most effective thing you found which helped? I don't think you could put a time frame on that. I think the whole process helped with that. Most effective thing you found which helped: diet. Definitely tracking my macronutrients, having specific amount of carbs, specific amount of fats, specific amount of proteins, if I forgot that. Yeah, I'd say it was definitely nutrition and being precise with it. I know I just said obviously that I did have times when I caved, but the more precise I was, the better the results were without fail. VegBaby89 asked, did you water deplete before your shoot, and how long did your prep last? Prep lasted 16 weeks. I didn't water deplete before the shoot. I did ask Josh about this. On the morning of the shoot, I just made sure that I sipped water rather than like gulped, because usually I get up and like down a litre because I'm always so thirsty. So yeah, on the actual day I just sipped it. I do tend to hold quite a bit of water, especially on my back. But yeah, no, I didn't do any like crazy water depletion before the shoot. Okay, next one is CG Fitness 88. How much of your plan had you in a calorie deficit? E.g., how many weeks? I'd say pretty much all of it. It was gradual, it didn't just go bam and I was like eating no food. I was always kept as high as possible, which was super, especially as a woman. I think we need our carbs, we like to have them, and also the fats. Like I did enjoy the low carb days though, because I enjoy eating higher fat diet and lower carb. I think for me it works better. But yeah, it was always a calorie deficit throughout the week. We did carb cycles, so that helped throughout the week to have a deficit. So we started off with, say, 3 low days, 1 high day, then increasing it to 4, increasing it to 5, like 5 low, 1 high, things like that. So we played around with it that way, rather than just like cutting calories, because I think that's when it can become dangerous. And again, that's why you need a coach who knows what he's doing. Fit Food Emma is back. What are your top tips for finding a coach who is worth the money and knows how to keep your body healthy rather than deprived of nutrients and energy? I would 100% go with someone who has been recommended. I always think that's a good way, or if, like me, you know someone that knows them and you've seen what they've done, speak with people who he or she has trained or prepped. I do think Fit Food Emma's back. What are your top tips for finding a coach who is worth the money and knows how to keep your body healthy rather than deprived of nutrients and energy? I'd say 100% do your research, speak with people who they've trained, ask people about what they felt like on their prep, do anything like that. But also, if you know someone who's trained with them, I think that's a Brucey bonus, and it's always good to speak with somebody. Final few questions. Fit Food Emma, what was your post-prep meal? Did you crave something, or was your prep so flexible that you didn't have any cravings? I didn't have any cravings as such, because like I said, I did have a few things throughout it. I wasn't like a saint like you see the girls who step on stage who will be a lot stricter than I was. Hats off to you. But no, at the end of the prep I had a glass of champagne to celebrate. When we were all there, we all had a glass of champagne, but that wasn't obviously my meal. My other half took me out for steak, sweet potato, salad. That sounds super healthy, but the steak was so good. I had my Greek yogurt with berries. Again, I had that throughout my prep because I made sure that we could factor it in, because I'm a Greek yogurt lover. And also I chowed down 2 bars of Lindt dark chocolate, one being my orange flavour, which I love, and one being blueberry, I think it was. And then I also had some salt and vinegar, or balsamic shall I say, kettle chips, because they are something that at summertime when I go to a barbecue, they are my ultimate treat. I don't really like crisps on a daily basis, but it's quite a summery food for me. So I did have some crisps as well. I was very full that night, as you can imagine. So yeah, that's it guys, that's my Q&A finished, all about my prep. Watch this space for the exciting news, and again I'll put a link below to Josh if any of you want to check him out on Instagram, or I'll pop his email or anything like that. If you're doing a photo shoot or he does bikini prep, things like that, then you can check him out. He's very, very good. That's all the questions answered, and I hope it's given you more of an insight as to what went on behind the scenes when I was getting ready for this shoot. You'll see lots of pictures, I'm sure, very soon. But yeah, I'll speak to you soon guys, and have a lovely day.